Oh, my apologies. I was wearing my mask because I just got back from a full day of being a good person. I love my mask because it's a simple yet effective way to display my righteousness. Am I concerned that 2 children in China dropped dead because they were forced to wear masks in gym class? Nope. Am I concerned that we're creating a generation of children who will be socially awkward and conditioned to fear their fellow man? No. Am I concerned that I'm contributing to an impending socialist technocracy that will enslave the global population? Not even a little bit. Am I concerned that my mask is symbolic of my compliance to the social conditioning that will eventually lead to the forced vaccination of every man, woman, and child on planet Earth? Not a chance. And why am I not concerned, you ask? I'm not concerned because I decided a long time ago that shallow, insignificant gestures are a much easier way to showcase my morality than actually being moral. Because in order to be a real good person, I gotta stand up to a real bad person. And I don't like standing up to or for anything. I've decided that it's much easier to trick my own mind into thinking compliance is a virtue instead of what compliance actually is. Cowardice. I prefer to float through life completely ignorant to the fact that every socialist takeover has always begun in the exact same way, with government overreach, public shaming, censorship, and a toilet paper shortage. Don't believe me? Google toilet paper shortage in communist Russia. Did you think you were having a unique experience? I prefer to pretend history never repeats itself so that I can stand by and turn a blind eye every time history repeats itself. I prefer to call anyone who speaks up, fights back, or stands their ground a lunatic or a conspiracy theorist so that I don't feel obligated to do my own research. Research takes away from me time. And lastly, I prefer to put on my mask and stand among a sea of masks so that I never have to be seen, be free, or reveal the deep dark shadows that lurk within me.
That's really
That's pretty funny. How do you spell rabies?
Rabies.
Raybees.
I think I could spell it wrong. I'm not the veterinarian. So I take my dog to the vet. They just sent me some thing. I got to fill out some. It's a new vet. I got to fill out a new patient thing.
Let them know that your dog definitely has rabies and they should be prepared.
They do have to muzzle old Dennis.
A wild Florida man bit your dog, and now he has rabies.
He just came out of the bushes.
Is Dennis not a fan of the vet?
He's totally fine until they start sticking him with needles. As soon as they stick a needle in you, he's gonna turn around and bite you. He doesn't like to be messed with. Even me, I gotta we take him to a groomer to have his nails done, and they muzzle him and tie him up and this and that. It takes 4 people to do it. It's a whole thing. But yeah, he's his own man. He just doesn't like his ears and tail and butt messed with. Go figure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We are on the same.
Right there.
Oh man, we're all doing stuff this morning. Sorry, I'll put the phone down.
Well, I was running late getting home.
And
gas really riding you?
Caffeine.
No, gas was less than $2.50. I mean, I had to fill up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw gas at $2.97 the other day, which is pretty good around here right now.
Stop bragging. No one wants to hear it.
Usually I get gas in the afternoon on my way to work. And it was pretty good. It was $2.55 yesterday afternoon. I was yeah, I might fill up. And then I was yeah, but I really don't need to. I don't
need gas.
Yeah, I can go for a while. And then when I got off this morning, as I was driving back by, it was $2.46. I was well, never mind. I'm filling up. So.
Yeah, we haven't reached the 2s yet. As Steven is saying here in the comments.
Oh, yeah, comments. What's up, guys?
Yeah,
Steven, Corey.
Forget about those, don't you?
Sometimes it'll be I'll make 15 minutes in and go, oh, yeah, the comments. My favorite part of the show.
You should watch the sports show whenever I'm not on and Mark is running things. The comment section is just ignored most of the time. It's happening. He's just usually it's me just commenting nonstop, and maybe that's what it is.
I highlight him every now and then. Go, oh, Matt's in the middle of a rant. That means I can look over here now, and oh my gosh, there's 37 comments, and 36 of them are from Justin.
Look, I'm trying to give my commentary on the show, even though I'm not able to participate in the show.
Fair. And the other comments usually Busty Babe XY619669.
Damn it! You said it out loud, and now she's going to show up and start spamming our anytime if you talk about it, then that's when it happens. It's like
summoning her.
There's some.
Are they in our area now?
There's some algorithm on YouTube that's like. There's a. I don't know if y'all use Snapchat at all. Snapchat has gone like
time.
Since Elon took over Twitter, Snapchat has gone absolutely just like batty with like spam bots. I guess they all had to leave Twitter.
They all migrated over to Snapchat.
So I keep getting added, and it's the same thing over and over again. So, where are you from? Oh, me too. So I'm just like Pluto, Jupiter, Uranus. That one makes sense though.
Yeah. We do have a city called Jupiter in Florida.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Be careful with that. Yeah.
We've got a hell in Michigan.
You do, which is crazy.
Isn't that the whole state?
No. Steven would say yes, but I would say no.
So I'm on the final section in Albion Seed, and they're talking about like naming of like places, in this borderlands. This is what the Kentucky and the Arkansas and the the Appalachians and stuff, and and it's like Schitt's Creek is like a place, and like Hobag Ridge, and just just crazy shit like that. And I do think and so of course you guys might do the same when you drive by a funny named town or location or something. You're just like, what's the story? Hundreds of years ago that caused them to name this like my fucking Toe Wedge Creek or some shit. I don't know. That wasn't even that dirty, but use your imagination.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Hobank Creek. Like, who was the hoe, or was it multiple hoes?
It was just like some vengeful like ex-husband who just happened to get naming rights to the creek, that she lives by. He's like, oh yeah.
Let's see. I grew up close to Possum Trot, Monkey's Eyebrow, and Fancy Farm, Kentucky.
Was it really a fancy farm, or?
No, but there's a big political. That's like where the big political stuff happens. There's the Fancy Farm picnic, and so on election years, like that's where all of the politicians show up to give their stump speeches, and like it's a big deal. If you're a politician in the state of Kentucky and you don't go to Fancy Farm for the Fancy Farm picnic, you may as well chalk it up as a loss.
It's one of those.
I was driving through. I was driving through Forest Hills, Michigan the other day, and it's like, this is one of the most aptly named places. Like, it really was. It really is just foresty hills. Whereas where I live, Grand Rapids, our rapids really aren't that grand at all. Maybe they used to be, but they've really domesticated.
I could say great, maybe good, but not quite grand.
It's definitely not grand. Moderate rapids. Welcome to Moderate Rapids, Michigan.
This just doesn't have the same ring to it.
No.
You think they'd pick another thing to name the town after other than the rapids?
There are rapids, but just grand is a little bit much.
I lived really close to Bald Knob, Arkansas. That's interesting. And there was it wasn't an official like name of a town, but there was this place that was commonly referred to as Niggerhead Turn. And I was like, what? And like everybody would just say that like very casually, like everybody knew exactly where this was. I was like, what's the deal with that? Like, how does the place get that name? And apparently at some point, like back in the late 1800s, they found this black man dead there in that little area. And nobody knew who he was or where he came from. So they put his head on a spike for somebody to come identify the body. And so that it just became known as.
And nobody did anything with the spike of the head. They're just like, I guess here's where our name's at.
Like, apparently it wasn't like some, KKK related thing, even though it was Arkansas. It was just like they were trying to see if anybody knew who the guy was, and that for some reason that was
sounds like standard whitewashing to me.
the way they went about it.
No, we were just trying to find his relatives. We were just trying to reunite the corpse with his family. We weren't desecrating a body. No.
Just let them know here he is. Like, come get him. Yeah.
Oh shit. It is. I'm reading another like a Civil War book, and it is like when they talk about like, I think there's one guy. Yeah, there was this barn and it just had a corpse in it because it was a Union soldier, and they said, all right, we're putting him in your barn and we'll be back in 6 months to collect the body, and they just never did. So fucking this corpse just sat in somebody's barn for like 2 years, and it's just the, I don't know, the handling of death and bodies and stuff, and like historically it's just, I don't know. I guess anything with death and bodies is weird anyhow, but whenever you have a tradition that's slightly different from what we're used to, which we've got a pretty bland one, like in the US, like it's, cremation, funeral, or, cemetery or whatever. But, I guess there were just practical realities when people died before refrigeration and technology and stuff like that, of like what you had to do with them. And I guess in that regard, it was always strange to me when it wasn't just like, all right, put them in a hole and stick a wooden cross on it. It was like, oh yeah, we're gonna come back for this body in 6 months. It's like, ooh, gross. Just bury me, God.
Just put me in the ground already.
I'm saying.
Have y'all made plans for your death? How you want to go out and like what the arrangements are going to be and everything?
The law won't allow it.
He's already checked into it. And he's trying to find the loophole. Still hasn't found one though.
What I'd like, I don't really give a shit, like in the, in the big regard. Like, I guess I wouldn't want my corpse just like thrown into like a, a prison to be used at will or something. That'd be weird. But like, I don't really care. Like, just like in the sense, like dig a hole and put me in it. There are some places that are doing like they just have like a forest, that they own, and they allow like, people to be buried in there, like no marker, and it's just in there, and I think that's kind of cool. I like the idea of the tree, I like the idea of the tree pot, where they grow a tree. I did talk to my lawyer friend about stuff like being like buried like on my property or something, and that's always like doable, but it's a whole, you still have to have what they call the vault, like the concrete thing they have to put you in, so it's hard to get like an all natural burial. So I don't know. Just for ease, I'll probably go, yes. See, I like that kind of thinking, like Corey's got, you know what I mean? Like something there in the, when a tree grows on, then, whatever, live on in that way. I'm a nature-y guy. But I'm getting more in the thing. I'm just going to be fucking cremated and throw me somewhere. I don't care. I just don't want to like take up space. Like, I think I like a family plot with like a gravestone and this and that. I think that's kind of cool. I think, Justin, you said your family has something like that. That's kind of neat. But otherwise, just like cemeteries and I don't know. It seems weird and wasteful to me. Otherwise, I guess. But I could get if it's like, a place at your house.
I will not be there. They can put a headstone out there, but unless I die unexpectedly, like I told the kids, there will be no putting me in a home or anything. Like once I feel like I've kind of reached that point of I'm not really contributing anymore, I'm going to drive my truck out into the Appalachians, wander off into the mountains, and just die. Like I'm just going to leave. I'm going to do it like Eskimo style.
What if it like revitalizes you? Like just being one with nature.
Like come back,
your soul and body.
Come back 20 years later, like better than ever. Like, well, that didn't work out. I'm back.
What if somebody finds your body and cuts your head off and puts it on a pike in the hopes that your family will pass by to be able to identify you?
Yeah. I just hope this location gets a memorable name.
That's baller, dude. See, there was a, you know what? Instead of me talking about it, I'm gonna look for it real quick. You guys,
you gotta look for your death.
Yeah, what's your death wish, Mark? I might have been
I was just kind of hoping I'd die and someone would bury me, but you guys got like very specific ways of going out. I don't know, maybe jump out of a moving plane or something. I'm just kidding. I don't know where I'm going with this.
A moving plane.
Considered this yet?
No, I got nothing at the moment. Once I get my coffee on me, maybe I'll figure out my way of dying. As far as Steven's blaze of glory, I wonder if Steven was in the he's in one of the World Trade Centers after George W. Bush's remote control a car into it, or a plane into it, not a car. everyone's jumping, and he just goes,
So that was Oklahoma City.
This is my blaze of glory. Oh, that was blaze of glory.
I got a video in the chat there. I always thought this was like a joke, but obviously, but I really thought it was an excellent idea. They had another one along the same lines. Maybe I'll pull up.
Are we playing this on the show?
Yes,
I hope so.
Pulling it up now.
It's only like a minute.
Yeah, calm down, Mark. I'm on it.
Well, I didn't know if I was supposed to go to another tab.
What's this?
Oh, don't touch it. That's your grandfather's crap bag.
He used to be so full of life, laughing and carrying on. Now look at him. What a shame.
It's a sad scene. The family patriarch fades away slowly, pathetically, with drool coming down his chin and a load in his pants. Die like a man.
Die like a man?
At Die Like a Man, you select from a full menu of proud, masculine ways to meet your maker. Like alligator attack. Head smashed in by professional boxer. Mob hit.
Yes.
Whorehouse heart attack. Choose from autoerotic asphyxiation, ostrich stampede, prison riot, leading Shakespearean snuff film, murder by ninja, dinner with OJ, testicles bitten up by bats, and many more. So honor your loved one with a manly death from Die Like a Man. You'll be glad you did.
Wow, breath is brave to jump without a parachute.
It's Steven.
He was quite a man, son. Quite a man.
Call now and die like a man. Not available.
Or Mark. Mark said the plane thing, not Steven. Sorry, Steven.
I think I saw the word asphyxiation. That's a struggle for me, but I think I figured out what I want. I want my neck to be kneeled on for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and I want 7 funerals as a result, and 13 cities burning to the ground.
Monuments that are really more of caricatures of your physical appearance.
Yeah.
The biggest beard and beanie you've ever seen. I want the statue to have the biggest goddamn beanie.
Make Tim Pool jealous.
I want a button you press and racial expletives come streaming out.
Oh, Jason joined us.
What up, Jason?
Just talking about the way we want to go out of this world, Jason.
They
I wonder if Canada is offering any of those options.
They might be. They might not be able to afford some of them. I wonder, they might only have 2 options for their whole euthanasia program.
They're all moose related too.
I mean, surely they could come up with a way to drown you in maple syrup.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't mind going out that way.
It's Canada. They got some wilderness, so you might actually get your wish there. It'd be a little bit colder than the Appalachians, though.
They don't just have pits of maple syrup in the woods, though. Do you know where maple syrup comes from, Mark?
Yes, trees.
Yeah, I'm stumped there for a second.
I'm closer to Canada than you are.
They don't just put an oil rig in the ground and pump it up.
Justin's the one that said he wanted the maple syrup option.
But you were suggesting wandering in the woods and it might happen.
Yeah, I was associating with Justin's Appalachian experience.
The moose is something you could get by just wandering around in the woods up there. That's a death they could grant you.
Those things are huge too.
They are. They are really
ornery.
huge. Oh, huge and horny. I don't think I want to be fucked to death by a moose.
I said ornery, but yeah.
I don't think you said.
I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Really, I mean,
we
horny turns into
moose,
ornery.
But...
You know.
This is actually how they kept all the American truckers out when the strike was going on. They just opened up the syrup pits and everybody got stuck.
Uncover the syrup pits. That's why they don't need a wall. Syrup pits.
Seems like it'd be more efficient to just shovel the syrup out of a pit than to get it out of a tree anyways. So not saying that God made a mistake. I like the tree thing, but
I see you got the tree flag today.
Yeah. I was gonna say half of it. Just the bottom of it.
It's where the sap comes from.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting one of those and putting them on the other side. Getting the Appeal to Heaven flag.
That'd be cool. You gonna
Well,
fix that up nicely?
Speaking of the bottom, Dag's going to finish last, but he got 4 wins. You're going to pick up a win this week.
Oh, did I end up winning last night?
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
technically ends tonight, but you won.
Cool. Yeah, last I checked, I was doing all right.
You won by less than a point. Poor Trey. Poor Trey started the season like 7-1 and then went on a 7-game losing streak. Or 6-1. Anyway, all I know is he lost out. Like the second half of the season, he did not win a single game. Just rattled off 7 straight losses. I'm gonna edge my way into the playoffs and get to face Mark in the first round and probably get annihilated.
Oh, are we gonna face each other?
Yeah.
Nice. A nice tune-up for another game with Michigan.
You think it'll be him? You don't think Phil's gonna pull it out? Phil's been struggling.
I'll have to look at his team. This right here has Dag's name written all over it.
Andrew Tate, friend or fid?
Yep.
Why? Because I don't know who Andrew Tate is?
Yes.
Okay.
And then and then they can explain Andrew Tate to you, and it also kind of helps them formulate their own opinions on whether he's a friend or a fed.
And then I go, as they explain more and more about him, I can go back and forth between going, I hate him or I like him. Until we get to the end.
Oh, that's good. Oh, wait, I like that.
You would probably definitely go back and forth with him. That's
Is he a libertarian person?
No.
Well, he actually probably says he is. I think he's said in clips before that he is a libertarian, but he's not like he's a libertarian like The Rock is a libertarian, probably.
What is? Sorry, I don't know what that. I don't know what
Rock,
that means.
Dwayne Johnson.
I know who The Rock is. I know. I don't get the.
Just like a more well. I mean, he's not as well known as The Rock, but well-known celebrity saying, "Well, my politics, they're kind of libertarian." You know, they haven't really put a lot of thought into it or whatever.
Oh, okay. I didn't know The Rock claimed that. Or you're just using him as an example of a.
I think maybe I'm thinking of Vince Vaughn. I know they're two completely
different people. Vince Vaughn. Yeah. Vince Vaughn says he's somewhat libertarian.
But as for me, I would prefer an actual Rock over a libertarian, but that's a whole different conversation.
It would be something. I mean, we are really gonna. I mean, if politics continues, I mean, I feel like we're in the prime time of celebrity politicians.
Yeah.
When we think of Trump, but I guess Reagan was one, but I don't know. I don't think Reagan was a good actor. But I don't know. I never watched any of his movies.
Well,
you guys ever seen any Reagan films?
No, I haven't.
Wasn't he a cowboy? Or was he like a normal actor? Did he do non-Westerns? I don't know.
I think he did.
Hey, I agree with Steven's statement, though. And I like the proper capitalization and not capitalization of libertarian in the appropriate places.
Well, speaking of celebrities who are becoming political, I don't know if Elon is a celebrity. Y'all see Elon's latest tweet?
Interesting.
Which has naturally spurned all of the leftists, and now they all have to declare what their pronouns are, or what pronouns actually are not. I've been trying to reply to all of them.
Someone doesn't get the joke and comments and goes, "No, I don't think you're getting it, Elon. What we do when we put our pronouns up there is," which would be a more sane response, even though it's insane, than the more gnashing of teeth that you're about to show us.
Well, let's see. We got Nina Turner, who says that pronouns aren't a joke. But aren't they? I mean, really? Are you sure that they're not a joke? Blair White, of all people, says taking them seriously, however, is very much a joke.
Like, I mean, there was a time when they were a part of English speech. you know, and they weren't a joke. It was something you learned in school, like, but in a different sense. Like, I mean, right? Like, I'm an English major. Where's Clyde when you need him?
Right.
What? So you could say, I don't know what you're about to say?
Nah, yeah, I don't know.
No.
You guys do a better impression than me.
Yeah, I don't know. This Alexander Vinman says his pronoun is prosecute Elon Musk. I don't.
It doesn't hit us. Doesn't hit us well there, buddy. Alex.
Swing and a miss. Once again, the left can't meme or whatever this is.
Well, there's a check mark there, so it must be a valid opinion.
I wonder if his check mark.
You need to pay $8 now.
I wonder if his check mark says because he's considered an important person or because he paid for it. Oh, notable in government, news, entertainment, or other designated category.
Notable.
Darn
Nice.
it. I don't know who that is, though. I mean, apparently he's notable. But...
I'm sure you guys have heard people, maybe even made the argument for where it's like, why am I going to give a fuck what so-and-so says? They only have so many Twitter followers. Like, I hear like a lot of people like say that, even people like I respect or like, and I just hate like the argument because I'm like, I don't know, man. Like a lot of times I have less respect for people. Like who have like, you might have like whatever, you might be well-read or smart, but it's just like, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just less impressed. Like, okay, but what does he do? You know, like, right. So he spends a lot of time on Twitter, but what does he do? You know? But, you know, there is something about that validating check mark. It's just like,
Are
you tempted to pay the $8?
I only use you have 20 followers, I'm not listening to you. If I know based on the way the person is behaving that it's going to really piss them off. Like, if I can use that as the extra thing to just really make them like fully rage quit on me, then I'm going to poke that bear.
It's a good one to go for if it's important, for sure. Especially because it's to my point, it's silly. So that people would get upset about it makes it good. All right.
We're all just reading the comments and trying to figure out what they're talking about.
There's Corey. Yeah, I think Corey is the one who does the really good Clyde impression. I think that's who I'm thinking of. Do your Clyde impression through text, Corey.
I've heard Magoo do a Clyde impression.
But Magoo does all the best impressions.
Maybe it's Magoo. I get all of our people mixed up. I'm sorry, guys.
You're all the fan. That's
just mashes you all together.
Yeah. That's I'm bad. I think it's like one of like the parts of my brain that's like damaged somehow is like my people recognizing and remembering. Like I think there is something to we're only ever supposed to meet like 100 people in our life, you know, and that's it. And like I can only fit so many of them like in there at a time.
That's
you told me what kind of car you drive. I can usually remember that. Except for you. I always think you drive a Civic, but I know that's not true. Mark. Yeah.
Taurus.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. Okay. You said it. I wasn't gonna dox your car to everybody, but yeah. For some reason, I drive a Civic.
There are a lot of them out there. So
yeah. But then I remember it's a Taurus, the car I hate the most.
But I also have talked about my left headlight being out, so now that narrows it down even more.
Yeah. Have you still not fixed that? And you still haven't gotten beaten by the police?
I haven't. No. Now at this point,
you guys say racism isn't real.
At this point, I'm just testing it.
This is just a scientific experiment. Start rolling through some of the neighborhoods you don't normally roll through. They'll pull you over real quick. Then you're like an extra target because you're only there for one reason.
Yeah, and that would be
drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin's over here just like cracking up while he's eating his cereal.
Come on, you've all seen Cops. You know how it works.
This feels like an insult.
He does look like a Civic kid, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's the hat, Mark.
So there it is, Corey. Yep. It's the beanie.
Yep.
Sorry, Justin, I've taken over the comments. I've owned a Volkswagen.
It's about damn time.
I've owned a Volkswagen and a Mercedes in my time, so
Volkswagen wouldn't surprise me from you either, and not even like I'm not saying because like I know you, but like you look like you drive like a Jetta or something.
I do miss the Volkswagen. It was in the shop 3 times in 6 months, and I still miss it. It's the most annoying car ever, but I don't know. It's just that German.
I have
German
friends
pride.
who like have like BMW, like love them and will swear by them and this and that, and like that's great. But like I don't think I could bring myself to drive a, not like drive it because of something. I just to own one, like to have to work on them. I don't know. A lot of us, I'm just not as familiar. I get under the hood of like a European car. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
It did look confusing in there, and no, it was a Passat STG.
My brother worked at my brother worked at a shop in Louisville that they only did like foreign cars. They didn't work on GM or Ford or anything. They didn't do Toyotas either. They did Volkswagens, Saab, some of that other. Anyway, they're not domestic shit. And he absolutely hated Volkswagens, like with a passion.
Well, like if it's your specialty and you have the tools for it, because you need different tools and shit. Supposedly they're great to work on and everything once you learn them, but I don't know. I like Japanese cars personally. Small Japanese trucks to work on. But I'm learning the Dodge pretty good. It makes me feel like more of a man.
That's why I got my Ram. It's compensation for my small penis. I needed to feel like a man.
That's what it is. He admitted to it.
Oh man, I got to share my lame ass win with you guys. But we're all old enough to where you'll all appreciate this. Had to run in town yesterday to get a new battery for the truck because the other one took an unexpected shit on me at a young age. And I take it in, and I happen to notice it's the same brand that they have there in the local O'Reilly's. Shout out O'Reilly's. And I go, hey, you guys sell these? They're like, I might have bought this here. Can you look it up? And, sure enough, like they were able to look up my old receipt from 2 years ago. It was still under warranty. And they just swapped it out and gave me a new battery. Didn't even buy it at that location. And I didn't have to shell out $200. And I was so damn happy. Made my fucking day. Fuck yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
what
SDG is saying here about the Volkswagen. That was always like if you were going to do anything, you had to completely take the whole thing apart to do it. Like that was always the big bitch that my brother had. It's like, got to change the oil, got to take everything out so you can find the oil filter. Like they're not user friendly, I guess.
Yeah, maintenance ability is huge for me when I buy something. Like, is this something I can work on? Is this something they sell parts for? That kind of thing.
I change our oil.
He's gone.
With Stephanie's, if you don't have like freakishly long arms, it's probably virtually impossible to get to the oil filter without a tool of some sort. It's like it's.
Let's play a game. Guess what Justin was about to say.
You know what Ford stands for, don't you? Fix it again, Tony.
Am I back?
Wait, that's Fiat. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, you're back. Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
You know what Fiat stands for, right?
Yeah, yes. Fix it again, Tony. I could hear y'all. I thought I was talking and everything was normal.
You just went blank.
Yeah.
Oh, you were still there, but you were in one position.
Well, I was just saying that the oil filter on Stephanie's car is virtually impossible to get to.
Looks like there are lots of sayings for Fords.
Yeah.
Found on road dead, found on roadside daily.
Fix or repair daily was the one we always said.
Nice.
It's I think it's the first episode of King of the Hill. What's his name? Dale says that. You know what Ford stands for, don't you? Fix it again, Tony.
I am gonna say something about my Ford and its reliability, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm just gonna leave it there.
I think those were solid cars, man. Like I said before, I just hated working on them because anything I had to do with them aftermarket was an absolute dick. Tinting.
And you said after a certain year.
Yeah, there was a certain year there, the late 90s to early 2000s, where the window seals were deep and fuzzy. The rear windshield had shit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into that again. Oh my God, a 3000 GT. Okay. I take back what I said. That is my most hated car to ever work on. Or the Dodge Stealth, same difference. No, that sucks. I had him on my Subaru. It's got the flat 4, and I had a mechanic tell me they had to pull the motor to change the spark plugs on it, and I just did it myself with a series of like 17 elbows. But they're on the side, like down low. You got to pull the battery, the washer reservoir, all that shit out of the sides there to get to them.
So I guess when I cut out, that's what I was saying about my wife's car is like I don't feel like if you don't have like freakishly long arms, you probably can't get to the oil filter without some sort of like contraption or tool. Because like I have to like get all the way up in there and reach through to get the oil filter out, and it's really a pain in the ass. Like I always end up covered in shit.
I've had them where the oil drains like onto something like under. It's like, what the fuck is this? So what Corey's saying there? That okay? I got some. We can get us off of cars for a second. Excellent. By the way, Corey, 79 F-150, fucking amazing. Or F-100, excuse me. Very very amazing. This weekend we decided that for Halloween we watch a bunch of shitty horror movies, and I'd never seen any of the terrible like Christmas like Hallmark movies. So I was like, I want to watch a couple of these terrible Christmas movies. So we watched a few of them this weekend. And if you like to watch terrible movies and like make fun of them, they're amazing. They're great. Honestly, it's a little bit of like ear bleach. It's wholesome, whatever. I don't typically watch PG movies, but they're all so similar. It's hilarious. But the first one we watched wasn't bad, but there's like this country person. We picked one of the country ones. There's a lot of country ones. And it's Shelley Long of all people, and she's supposed to be like this poor farmer lady. So she pulls up in this little pickup truck, like poor farmers have. But it's like a 70-something, like like one of those like F-100s, like an old. I'm sorry, it was a Chevy, it wasn't a Ford, but it was like a 70-something fucking old Chevy truck. Perfect paint, painted bed, beautiful interior. And I'm just like, I'm screaming the whole time, this is not a poor person truck. I'm like, that's $150,000 truck. Easily. That's a $20,000 paint job. I'm like, what the fuck? And, of course, the wife is like, always gets mad at me for the suspension of disbelief when it comes to car related stuff. I'm like, my truck, that's a poor person truck. Not that. But I really do like the old F-Series pickups for sure. Kid I work with has like a 80 something, and it's nice. It's jacked up. It says outlaw on the side, and he's like the most straight edge guy like I know, and I just always make fun of him. I'm like, when are you gonna get that changed to good law abiding citizen, huh? You know what outlaw means, right? Oh, it's cute.
Well, speaking of outlaws, that's a good.
We got a segue.
Good
job, Dag.
The Department of Homeland Security warns of domestic terror threats to the LGBTQ, Jewish, and migrant communities. And it's probably all because Elon bought Twitter, I would assume.
Did I see people blaming that soccer reporter's death on LGBT hate because he's in Qatar? Did I see that correctly?
I mean, did he get
I didn't
murdered?
see that, but I wouldn't be surprised if people were blaming it on that.
I liked how that was going on, and then I saw people on the other side, on our side, alluding to his having tweeted about getting the shot and the boosters or whatnot. And I say, I think we have a better claim to mysterious deaths than they do.
Yes, usually their deaths aren't so mysterious. It's AIDS.
Could see it coming a mile away.
Oh fuck. I don't have a follow-up. Oh fuck. So this person got murdered then, I assume, if they're blaming it on it's not
I guess because he's in Qatar, and
yeah, I mean it's not like he died of like, stomach cancer and they're blaming it on.
He thought it because he thought he was being a real rebel at the beginning of the World Cup tournament because he showed up in a gay shirt, not just a gay shirt, but an actual flag wearing shirt or whatever.
Like, I mean, look, dude, like, obviously, I don't think it should matter what shirt you fucking wear. But there's a reason I wouldn't even travel to the Middle East for fun or business or whatever. I mean, it'd have to be very tempting for whatever reason, because I don't want to risk, the virtue police or whatever they have in whatever country. Like that's not my bag, dude. If I was, I would be very careful and try not to make a statement, etc. Like, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. I'm not saying it's okay, but it doesn't seem like a good idea.
There's a guy.
Qatar was very upfront that we don't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to be allowed to do it. You're not going to be allowed to bring your shit. Like, you won't be allowed in the stadium if you come with that stuff. So don't fucking do it.
If you're a pregnant woman without a marriage certificate, they won't see you in the hospital. Like, they put that out there as a statement. Like, if you're pregnant and you are not married, don't come here.
Yeah, adulteress. Okay.
Yeah. Harlot. I think that's
Harlot.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a guy a few years ago who ran a marathon in like every country except for North Korea or whatever. And when he ran in those countries like Qatar and I don't know what other like really strict Muslim country, like, he didn't wear shorts. It's like, I mean, I can respect his respect for those laws. Like, he probably didn't think that they were right laws, but I think he did the right thing in that case.
Well, I mean, and sometimes it comes down to a thing like there's things I do so I don't go to jail. Like, same here. It's the same fucking thing.
Thrown off a roof.
Yeah, but it is a little bit different. It's like, okay, I'll do time behind bars here. There, they bury you up to your neck and throw rocks at you or something. So I just
the punishment is a little bit more aggressive over there.
Yeah. I mean, it's, as much as I hate to admit it, it does garnish a little more respect for the law.
But what would Qatar have to? I doubt Qatar threw an American sports reporter off of a roof. Like, I highly doubt he died because he wore that shirt a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I mean, they actually said in the report that he died suddenly.
Yeah.
So we still don't know how he died. So they're just saying that because it's mysterious that they're blaming it on, like, he got Gestapo'd out.
We do know that if we never hear how he died, then we know exactly how he died then.
Right. Cut up into 17 pieces and carried out individually in briefcases.
I think Mark was getting it.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was
I didn't want to say it.
He had that.
Our strikes.
Well, if
He
it
was-
is heart attack, then it's definitely because of hate, because they don't get the same medical treatment that we do.
Well, and it is getting to be close to Christmas time, and he was kind of grinchy at the beginning, so maybe he had that Grinch problem, But the problem was his heart was the normal size to begin with. So
blew out of the tool they used to measure hearts with at the hospital. It couldn't even fit within that.
I know that you don't. I know you don't watch or listen to Owen Benjamin, Justin, but that is a joke he made a few weeks ago. He's like, I think the Grinch was actually a good guy, and then they forced an injection in him and blew his heart up. Someone else has probably told the joke too. Probably.
Well, I'm sure that he'll still claim they stole it from him. So.
Well, yeah, of course.
Oh, mercy.
I'm just gonna say he stole it from me the same way he stole that Twitter post and didn't give me
right. Cut you out of, man.
Removed me entirely from that.
I didn't realize he took your face out or your name too.
Oh, took everything. It was
Yeah, he just didn't want to dox you. It's right there on Twitter.
Yeah, man, he might have done you a favor.
Yes, I think he probably did do me a favor,
or
because
at least in his eyes, he did you a favor.
that I still get notifications from that fucking post every single day. Like, a couple likes, a couple retweets every single day. I'm like, just die already. Why?
A few thought follows.
What?
Or no? Do you get any extra thoughts following as a result of the post, and then you get them in your DMs? Hey, how are you?
Oh, thought. I thought you meant like people who use their brain.
No. The
I
other
don't
kind
think
That's what I thought too. I was like,
yeah, those. Yeah.
I don't think I picked up either, actually.
I've been
Mostly
getting an
just
insane
bots.
amount of Facebook followers lately. which is weird. I've stopped accepting them.
Don't answer their DMs. They're trying to either get you to buy Bitcoin or
I don't. If I don't have at least like 10 mutuals, then like I don't even like look at them. You know what I mean? And then so it's all like Liberty-ish people, you know. But then it's like, why now? Like, is there an algorithm thing going on?
Yeah.
Same with you. Yeah, it's weird. Maybe
It's
they're
because
trying to save the dying platform.
I keep tagging you and stuff, so that it's all of my followers. They're coming for you.
Oh, that's possible.
What it is. I
That is
barely get
possible.
on Facebook, so I actually don't know.
A lot, if not most of the mutuals, are you're in there, and you are in a different circle than my other Liberty mutuals. So the fact that you are coming up so frequently in them is making me think that. Yeah.
Me or Justin?
Justin.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I don't...
See, I'm turning you on to the progressively alt-right version of libertarianism. Or I'm turning them on to you. How about that? You're going to teach them about farming because they realize that praxis is the way to go, but they don't know how to grow shit. So they need a good agorist to teach them those things.
Can I take a second since you brought that up to plug my new show?
Please.
DIY or Die, the Useful Human Show with Dag. It sounds like what an AI would generate a title, but I love the term Useful Human, so I put it in there. But we just put out episode 0, so I'm not gonna do like a huge like promotion thing for episode 0 because it's 10 minutes of me just like talking a little bit about the show, right? But probably every 2 weeks, I'm gonna try to put out on Saturdays. It's on Odyssey right now. I'll probably eventually share it to YouTube. I don't know. I have people that do that stuff for me, so thank you very much, guys.
So this is separate from the other show you do. Not this
yeah, I'm still doing it like with like or under or whatever through or with the Nexus or whatever. So I think it's on like their channel on Odyssey. I think we're gonna get me a separate. I don't know exactly how it works, but a separate category or channel or something. But yeah, so I'm doing it with them. But yeah, it's my deal. So it's gonna be like video, maybe like 20-30 minutes. It's gonna be like video. It's not just like a follow me on my farmstead journey kind of like gay thing. It's like like we're gonna learn. It's gonna be like whatever I do, like real shit. So like for instance, like I did plugging a tire, like repairing a tire on a mower, but you can also do it on cars, trucks, things like that. So a little quick instructional on that. I'm going to take those instructionals and chunk them out to like a 5-minute just that too. So if somebody's looking for just how to repair a tire, but there's a little bit of a niche for that sort of stuff to be filled on Odyssey versus like YouTube, and we're trying to work as much on Odyssey and everything as possible. But yeah, and then I might do some guests and some audio stuff too if I get somebody on to talk about a particular thing. But we're gonna do prepping and real skills and fixing shit and farming and mechanics and stuff.
You could have me on to talk about how to grow a tree in the city.
Yeah, maybe I could come up with something to have you on with for. We'll see. You got to have some real skills in there somewhere, Mark.
Well, I just I get a pot and a plant, and we'll just document my journey.
A lot of people tell me like, gotta be careful plugging tires like that, and they've been telling me that for 20 years, and I've never had a fucking problem. So I'm not saying you're talking shit about you, Guillotine, or anything. But yeah, I mean, it's probably something they wouldn't do at a shop. But then again, it's cheap and something you can do yourself. So why would they? They got to tell you it's they got to tell you it's not effective. It's for their pocketbook.
But Stephanie had a hole in one of her tires, and I put just like a temporary plug in it to because it was too much of a hole for the plug to be long term, but it would hold air long enough to get it to a shop. Because I didn't have a good patch. I've got like all the tire stuff, but I didn't have.
Do you have a tire machine to get it on and off the rim? Oh, that's dope. I used to know how to work one of those. Terrifying, but it's easy. It's just
watch the speed.
Don't be drunk.
We still talking about tires?
Yeah, tires. Sorry.
Yeah, so I've got a tire machine in the shop over there, and it's very cool. But I didn't have a.
If it's got sidewall damage, I don't fuck with it. Sorry.
I didn't have a patch, so like it wouldn't have done any good. So I got the plug in it, and I was like, just take it to the shop. She said, I don't think they'll do it. I said, just tell the motherfucker, yank the plug out and put the patch over it. There's no, I can't do this involved in it. And so she called, and I took the phone. I was like, look, it has a plug. Take the plug out and put the patch on. If I have to accompany her and do it my damn self, I will. But you're getting paid to do this. Like, just do this. They're like, yeah, we'll get it taken care of. I'm like, all right, thanks. Like, don't make me come do your job. Like, I just need the patch.
I'm always willing to say, like, I absolve you from liability. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like to do them for like, cool, I get it. I appreciate you not trying to put my wife in a death trap. I absolve you. Like, you know, boom. Man, I say the same thing when I loan janky ramps to my neighbor. I'm like, 1, 2, better not sue. Like, you can use these, but like, just so you know, you are absolving me of all liability if your truck comes crushing down on top of you.
If my wife dies, I take responsibility. It's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I'm the one putting her life at risk, not you.
It really is that way when, like, you know, you're the man in the relationship, and it's like you're kind of responsible one way or another. Even if you take the car to a mechanic, you're still kind of responsible for making sure the car stuff, like, your wife's not in a death trap. So, and then of course with my wife's car is always just a matter of time. She's getting to work from home here coming up in like a week, starting in like a week, and I'm just like, so like, oh, thank God, I don't have to worry about the car nearly as much, you know?
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Very stoked.
Today has been mostly car talk. So.
It has been. Switching it up. Sounds like the guys in the chat own cars and drive cars, though. So they have a comment, so that's good. Hopefully we haven't driven too many people off.
Yeah.
Not as much weather talk. We didn't talk about snow tires. We didn't get into snow driving. So we kept the weather to a minimum. That might be more of a Mark department anyhow.
Mark, do you have special chains that you put on your tires whenever it starts to get that time of year?
I just truck through the snow.
You just wing it, sling it around.
I like guys like that, Guillotine. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. Well, I mean, there's like, and I mean, as someone who works on cars, right? There's what would I do professionally versus, yeah, this fucking works. You know what I mean? Versus I wouldn't do that at my shop. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I'll fix something like this on my car, you know, because I know it's fine. But you know, it's not proper. Yeah, there's reasons and whatever. Yeah, I've heard what was it everyone was recommending me when I was supposed to move to Wisconsin? Some real fancy snow tire. They were like, oh man, what you got to get. I didn't
you
make
would
it
think I would know, but I don't know. I just.
Oh man, I have a Subaru and everything.
Mark just slides sideways everywhere. He doesn't even worry about it.
Yeah, you just learn how to play the slide.
Yeah. You just drive. I mean, everybody just drives slow in the winter there, right? I mean, I just assume.
I mean, you would think, but up here, people still get a little crazy in the snow.
I get mad at people if they're driving less than 50.
Well, yeah.
Come on, man.
I find driving in the snow a whole lot easier than driving in rain, but maybe I'm just weird that way.
If you learn how to navigate the slide properly, there's nothing to worry about. You can drive 60, 70, whatever. Like, just, you know.
What kind of stuff do you do, Guillotine? Okay, you guys go and talk. Sorry, Simon. Get that in there.
We found a guest for Dag's show here.
I wasn't actually shopping for guests, but I mean, if it's interesting enough, you know, I'm just curious.
Oh yeah, I guess the whole 20 to 30 minutes would imply it's more of a solo thing.
Oh my God, I was talking to Justin about this. It's so much harder to do like solo, like you know, like I can banter or talk, like, and even if you just ask me a question, I can go on like a 10-minute single just me talking spree. But like, oh man, to just sit there and just have to do something solo is very tough. Very tough.
Yeah.
As is evidence with the night shows, like you get enough people together, you can just sit around and talk for 3 hours and nobody even realizes it's been that long. Look up at the timer and like, oh shit, we've been doing this for 2.5 hours. Maybe we should start to wrap up. And then an hour later, then we actually finish.
And then talk for another hour to 2 hours after we've stopped recording.
Yeah.
Well, it's like prepping for a show, and I have like a guest, like, when, you know, like on like a Nexus or something. It's like there's a good balance to enough research to do ahead of time to where you can ask some questions, but you don't do too much research because then what the fuck do you ask? You know, what the fuck do you talk about?
Then
you know,
there's
make
the
good
show.
Conversation. Yeah, you know, you gotta, you know, that's the whole point of me asking questions is to keep them talking, right? About interesting stuff. So it's, you know, it's like, but yeah, so there's that right amount of research for sure. So you don't burn up all your content.
Yeah, you want to know enough about what you're talking about to not sound like a complete dumbass yourself,
Mhm.
but you also and also to be able to ask the right questions and point the conversation. Like I think that's a interesting and fine line to toe with doing interviews, is being able to ask the right questions to keep the conversation flowing and not allow for a whole lot of dead space.
Mhm. And then like with like not interview shows, like let's say you know you and me and one of you guys was doing like a current event show, but let's say more serious than this one, right? You know, like I've done them, and dude's like, all right, you know, let's research all the topics. I'm like, no, you research half the topics, I'll research half the topics, and then one of us can genuinely ask questions. You know what I mean? And I think that's a better presentation, because then you're putting yourself in the audience's position. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, what's a question they might genuinely have at the time? And it sort of fills in the gaps in your presentation, because if you know you have something and you present it in a certain way, you know it's a learning process for the people listening too, so it might be a little bit different.
Well,
But
like
yeah,
I gave Leighton some pointers when he was getting started with his stuff. Like when you're doing interviews with somebody and they start talking about something, sometimes you just have to like let them keep talking, even though you have a question that comes up and it's like, oh, this is very pertinent to what they're talking about right now. Like if they're on a on a roll and have a real like chain of thought going, just leave it alone. If it comes back, like
and they might answer the question too in that time,
right.
So
And sometimes I'll have like a piece of paper, a little notebook here, and like I'll just make like a little Cliff's Notes jot on the notebook. Like if it comes back up, then I can ask the question. But sometimes it never comes back up, and so it's just like, well, didn't work. I'll get it next time. Like
yeah, and sometimes there's only so much time, you know, on a show, and you gotta accept that you might not be able to hit every little thing. You know, sometimes if it does seem like it's important, like, oh, define that term. You know, sometimes, you know, I'll feel it necessary to interject, but I agree most of the time if they're going, I just let them go. So I got them here for us to talk. So if they're talking and it's good, you know, shit.
that's why the sports show works so well, Mark, because we can just let Matt take off on his.
Yeah, he just goes. When I worked for that old organization, it was when I worked with the kids, we would when we would interview applicants. Since it was a Christian organization, we had like the standard, would you mind sharing a little bit of your faith journey and what it would mean to work in a Christian organization kind of question or whatever. One time we asked an applicant this, and she pauses for a little bit and then just goes, home. And then there's just this long, awkward silence where we're just like, is she going to elaborate on what it means to her as it means home to her, or is that all she's going to say? And eventually I just go, care to elaborate at all? She goes, no, just home.
She means she learned it at home?
I don't know. We never got a good answer. We didn't hire her. It wasn't just because
makes
of that
her
one
feel
answer.
more at home.
I that's what I derived from it, but I was just like, okay. Anyways, next question, which that means this is the end of the interview.
That would have been like me trying to fake my way into a Christian organization. They asked me the one tough question,
which I did hear some pretty like hokey answers to it. So I mean, home wasn't the worst one. When someone says, "I look all around and I see God in that rock." And I see God in that light bulb. I say, okay, stop, please.
Well, then that's just batty too. That gets back into my like, we're like, okay, like I don't think everybody who's like, you know, religious or Christian is like weird or crazy. I definitely don't. But there's some people who are just batty. You know what I mean? And it just seems to fit them well. And I don't know, that's kind of batty to me. Yeah. You know, or it's like, you know, because I mean, like I guess realistically, if that question was posed to me, I went to church as a kid. I mean, I could probably string that.
Yeah, we had people, and you would be honest, like these other people, like her home thing was just kind of like anything else, and then the other one was like, okay, he's just making stuff up. If you're just like, yeah, I haven't been to church since I was a kid, but here's what it was like as a kid, we'd be like more likely to hire you. So
right.
I just realized both of you have flags. I'm gonna have to go get my Confederate flag out and hang it somewhere.
There it is.
Niall got a state of Florida one, and he got a Confederate one, a bandana. A big flag bandana, so he can't wear the Confederate one on the job, so he wears it here when he's working. And He's got the mullet going on and shit, so it's just hilarious. But the wife's parents just got into town. They're snowbirding it from Wisconsin like yesterday, and they stopped by for just a minute. Didn't even think about it. They pull in, and he's got the Confederate flag bandana. He's out there doing construction, you know, listening to outlaw country and throwing shit around and cursing. But hell yeah.
He's really embracing Florida man energy.
Yeah, and I was, you know, like, I don't give a fuck like about like that, but I'm just realizing people from Wisconsin, like them seeing that, I don't know what they think that means. You know?
They probably thought he was retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.